Still a contender for the Formula One World Championship, Max Verstappen will not be moved.
Hey everyone, so we just witnessed one of the wildest Formula One races in recent memory at Qatar, and honestly, the championship battle is absolutely bonkers right now. Max Verstappen won the Qatar Grand Prix, but this isn't just about one race. This is about an entire season coming down to one final showdown in Abu Dhabi. Let me break down everything that's happened and why this finale is going to be absolutely unmissable. The comeback nobody saw coming. All right, let's start with the elephant in the room. Max Verstappen's insane comeback. Picture this. Back in August at the Dutch Grand Prix, Max was 104 points behind the championship leader. 104 points. In modern Formula One, that's basically game over. And Max himself? He admitted he had completely checked out of the title fight. He essentially said,
very happy to win.
But here's where it gets interesting. While everyone was busy crowning the new champion, Max just quietly started winning races. 4 wins in the last 5 races before Qatar. And now, heading into Abu Dhabi, he's only 12 points behind Lando Norris. 12 points, from 104 down to 12. That's not just a comeback. That's one of the greatest turnarounds in Formula One history. McLaren's massive mistake. Now let's talk about Qatar because this is where things got really spicy. McLaren had the fastest car all weekend. Oscar Piastri absolutely dominated qualifying and the sprint race. Everything pointed to McLaren having a comfortable 1-2 finish, but then lap 7 happened, a safety car came out, and this is where it all went wrong. Pretty much everyone on the grid pitted for fresh tires, including Max Verstappen. But McLaren, they left both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris out on track. And immediately, you could sense this wasn't the right call. Their team principal, Andrea Stella, later admitted they didn't expect everyone else to pit, but once that happened, it became obvious they should have pitted too. Zak Brown, McLaren's CEO, was brutally honest about it. He straight up said, "We gave his win away," referring to Piastri. Think about that for a second. Piastri dominated the entire weekend. He was the fastest driver out there, and his own team's strategy mistake cost him the win. The footage of Oscar after the race showed him looking absolutely speechless and heartbroken. That's got to sting. The three-way battle. Here's what makes this championship finale so unique. We've got 3 drivers who can mathematically win the title going into the last race. This hasn't happened since 2010. And get this, all 3 drivers, Verstappen, Norris, and Piastri, have 7 wins each this season. 7 wins apiece, but completely different championship positions. So here's where everyone stands after Qatar. Lando Norris leads with 408 points. Max Verstappen is 12 points behind with 396. Oscar Piastri is 16 points back with 392. The math for Abu Dhabi is pretty straightforward, but fascinating. If Lando finishes on the podium, he's world champion no matter what anyone else does. Max needs a podium finish to even have a chance at title number 5. And Oscar, he needs to finish in the top 2, and needs Lando to finish 6th or lower. It's possible, but it's a long shot. The mind games. You know what's been entertaining throughout all this? The psychological warfare between Max and Lando. Before Qatar, Max told Lando that if he was driving the McLaren, the championship would easily be over by now. That's some serious trash talk right there. And after winning Qatar through McLaren's strategy mistake, Max had this little smirk and said it was another one. Basically pointing out this is yet another mistake that's led him back into the title fight. Lando fired back, saying Max was talking nonsense, but also acknowledged that Max has earned the right to say whatever he wants after winning 4 world championships. It's this fun, competitive banter that makes the sport so engaging. These guys are at the absolute peak of motorsport, and they're not afraid to get in each other's heads a bit. The fastest car paradox. Here's something that really highlights how crazy motorsport can be. McLaren had the fastest car in Qatar. There's no debate about that. Piastri proved it in qualifying and the sprint. They had the pace to dominate. But they finished 2nd and 4th in the main race. Even Max admitted it after the race. He said,
over the whole race, we were not too bad in pace. I mean, we didn't have the pace of McLaren.
That's the beauty and frustration of Formula One. Having the fastest car doesn't guarantee you'll win if your strategy isn't on point. Piastri's season collapse. Let's talk about Oscar Piastri for a moment, because his story this season is honestly heartbreaking. After Zandvoort in early September, Oscar was leading the championship. He was 104 points clear of Max Verstappen. The same 104-point gap that seemed insurmountable, Oscar had it in his favor. But since that win at Zandvoort, he hasn't won a single race. His championship lead over his teammate Norris went from 34 points to completely losing it. Oscar himself said the 104-point lead was overturned quicker than I thought. You can see the confidence has been shaken. The pace isn't quite there like it was earlier in the season. And watching him in Qatar, dominating all weekend only to have his team's strategy mistake cost him the win, that might have been the final blow to his championship hopes. The Abu Dhabi factor. So everything comes down to Abu Dhabi, and here's where it gets even more interesting. Max Verstappen has serious history at this track. He won the controversial 2021 title decider against Lewis Hamilton there. Remember that race? It was wild. And he's won 4 of the last 5 races at Yas Marina. The man knows how to perform under pressure at this circuit. Compare that to Lando Norris, who's never been in this position before. First-time title challenger, massive pressure, but he's got a 12-point cushion. Does experience matter more than points advantage? We're about to find out what's at stake. McLaren has said they won't impose team orders going into Abu Dhabi, which is interesting. Their team principal mentioned how Kimi Räikkönen won the championship in 2007 despite being third in the standings going into the final race. So they're keeping the door open for both drivers. But honestly, the drama writes itself here. Either we're going to see Verstappen pull off one of the greatest comebacks in F1 history and claim his 5th world title, or we'll watch Lando Norris finally break through and win his first championship after years of being so close, or we'll witness Oscar Piastri somehow pull off a miracle and redeem his season collapse. 1 week from now, we'll have our answer. The stage is set, the drivers are ready, and frankly, any of these 3 outcomes would make for an incredible story. This is why we love this sport. The unpredictability, the strategy, the human drama, and the pure racing talent all colliding at once. Abu Dhabi is going to be unmissable. See you there.